welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about the most common problem that I see people facing when they are trying to lose weight. The number one thing that I see people struggle with is binge eating. I get a ton of questions and emails and comments and all these kinds of things from girls who say like, Hannah, I've been eating so well for the past, a few days or week or 2 weeks, and then I just completely lose my mind and I binge out on fatty foods and processed foods, and sometimes it's not even vegan foods and things like that. Why does this happen and how can I stop this? Because a lot of times people will go and they'll binge and then it turns into kind of like a cycle and they just keep binging and then they kind of have to start all over again. I can 100% say that I have totally overcome binge eating, and it was definitely a process to get to this point. The number one thing that has helped me the most is eating foods, whole foods in their least processed state, and eating as much as you want. So the number one reason that people binge eat is because they're hungry. And a lot of times people do binge eat for emotional reasons, like they'll have a bad day at work, or their boyfriend just broke up with them, or something like that has traumatically happened and they want to find comfort in food. The only foods that we really find true comfort in are processed foods, vegan junk foods, Oreos, like sweet chili Doritos, whatever. We've all been there and it's all happened to us, and we've totally binge ate on vegan junk food. Nobody ever binge eats like bananas or carrots or unprocessed, unsalted, unadded sugar, no oil added foods. We just don't binge on them because they're not as satisfying to the pleasure centers of our brain. So I have a few tips on how to stop yourself from binge eating. The number one tip and the biggest thing that you can do in your life is to change your environment to suit your goals and your diet. So get rid of all of the vegan junk food out of your house, get rid of all the processed, crap, get rid of like the sugar, the things that you could easily make something very highly satisfying and saturating to your senses from. So like if you could easily make some vegan brownies with a ton of sugar and oil or whatever, you should probably get that stuff out of your house. If there's anything that you really shouldn't be eating on your whole foods plant-based diet, so like oils, salt if you want to cut it out, processed sugars, junk foods, anything like that, get it out of your house, because if the option isn't there, you're not going to eat it. That's the number one thing that I can tell you to do. And a lot of people live with their families, they have little kids, they have, a husband, and that can be obviously a big issue because those things are there, like your husband buys them or your kids eat them, or they're processed foods that your family enjoys, and it's like, how do you get that out of your house? Sometimes there isn't really a way around that, but you have to make a decision in your mind if you want to overcome binge eating, to basically tell yourself, if I have the urge to binge, I am just going to eat healthy foods that are unprocessed. So instead of, grabbing your kids like animal crackers, even if they are vegan, and just sitting on the couch and eating them, eat some leftover rice, eat some, potatoes, eat something that is healthy. Usually it will satisfy your urge to binge because the majority of the time we just need more calories. Another big thing that you can do is get out of your house. So if you have the urge to binge and all there is, you're thinking about your kids' animal crackers or something like that, get out of your house and go for a walk, take the dog out, do something to just switch your mind up a little bit. Take a banana with you, or take something that has, a lot of whole plant-based nutrients in it and has calories in it, so that you can satisfy that urge that your brain is telling you. The last thing that I'm gonna say that has probably been the biggest thing that has been helpful for me, because I would never really say that I like binge ate, like just tons of crap food. I would just go out and just get a bunch of crappy vegan food and binge on it. I probably haven't done that in like over 6 months. But when I would kind of have the urge to binge, even in the past 3 months or 2 months, I would just eat a lot of my healthy foods, but it would have like a ton of salt and a ton of flavoring in it, or it would be like banana ice cream with like peanut butter swirled into it and, whole plant-based foods, but they would have a lot of processed sugar and processed salt or something like that that was very stimulating to my appetite and really gave me like this sense of pleasure from it. So it is actually day 14 on the no salt diet, and I can tell you 100% since I've been doing this, I have not binge ate, I have not overate, I have not even had the urge to do something like that. And I think for a lot of people, especially people who are really struggling with weight loss, a big thing is that we are just basically overstimulating our appetites. Like, our food is just too good. It's just too satisfying. It's just too flavorful, too pleasurable. We just like it too much. And that can be an issue, because one thing that I've noticed since I started doing this is that I don't eat as much food as I used to. I'm still stuffed to the brim and full, but I get full on a lot less food. And I honestly don't know why. I don't know if it's like I was so addicted to salt or something that I could just eat way more food, or that my brain would keep sending the signal to me to like go get more food, because I would be truly hungry and I would just keep eating and eating, and I could eat so much more food than I eat now. And I do not know why. I cannot tell you why or anything like that. But if you do struggle with just feeling kind of like you overeat on a healthy, whole foods, plant-based diet, and you are adding in, you know, like jams and sauces and jellies and soy sauce and sweet chili sauce and all these kinds of add-ons to your food to make them taste better, a huge thing that I would tell you if you're really serious about weight loss is trying to cut out processed salt and processed sugar. Obviously, you've probably already cut out oil at this point if you watch my videos, but it has been a total game changer for me, just because I think that it truly does overstimulate the appetite. And I don't have cravings for junk food. Derek, okay, he's gonna be mad that I like said this, but I did buy a bunch of like chips and stuff off of Thrive Market before I decided to do this. They were like vegan chips, and I was gonna do a video of like my favorite vegan junk foods, and we were gonna do a mukbang, and we were gonna like talk about all this stuff and just eat vegan junk food. But I decided to do the no salt, you know, SOS free challenge. So there was like 4 bags of chips that Derek had to eat. So he'll literally be like sitting next to me eating an entire bag of chips, because he can, because he's like one of those skinny guys, obviously, one of the lucky ones. And I have no craving to eat this stuff. It actually smells pretty gross to me, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because like my senses have changed a little bit, but I can definitely tell you that today on day 14 and probably like the past 2 or 3 days, my food has tasted so much better than it did in the beginning. And it's not like it tastes incredible, like just, oh my gosh, I want to eat so much of this food, you know, like when you go out to a vegan restaurant and they have the most amazing vegan dessert, or they have amazing burgers or fries or something, you're like, I could eat this for the rest of my life. It's not like that. It's just, it's very satisfying the way that it is. Like having chili with no salt and just veggies in it, and beans and tomato sauce, or eating potatoes with just tomato paste. Like, it is so good to me. But I find that I eat the right amount of foods. So if you really do struggle with binge eating and you find a lot of the time that you're craving processed foods, it could just be that your body is actually craving salt and it's craving sugar, because it can be an addictive thing. Like, it is very stimulating to the mind to eat these very pleasurable foods. So I would highly recommend just trying it. Just try it for, I'd say, at least 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks, you know, it's not a huge time commitment. You're definitely gonna see a difference, and you'll definitely see a difference in your body and in your just overall approach towards food and your mindset towards food. So if you have a problem with binge eating, those are my tips for you guys, and you can overcome this. It might, you know, take you a while. Maybe you try doing a few of the things that I mentioned and it doesn't really work, but just keep trying, and just know that everybody falls down and everybody makes mistakes and everybody goes through a bad time, or, you know, has a bunch of wine or whatever and binge eats a bunch of chips or has a bad day. Like, it's gonna happen. Just know what to do that is gonna get you to where you wanna go, instead of going down like this road of junk food and alcohol and whatever. If you make that decision to go for whole plant-based foods instead of the processed foods, and you just eat that before, just say like, I'm gonna eat a cup of brown rice, and if I still want to eat a bag of chips, then I'll eat a bag of chips, you know, in a half hour or something. Like, you're not going to want to, because your body is gonna actually get the calories and the nutrition and all that kind of satiation that it actually needs. Those are my tips for you guys. I hope that this was helpful. Leave any other video requests that you want to see down below, and I will see you guys very soon.